On this episode of Lift Arc Builds, we install the steam fitter sign. Woohoo! Woohoo! About to cut out a piece on the shop saver that's going to be welded to the bottom of the center oval that will start to create the support structure. It'd be easier if I just show you than try to explain it, but we're going to get this sign standing vertically today. So there's our piece. It's contoured to the bottom of the oval here, and then it's flat here so that we can weld it to those pipe flanges, and then we'll have a flange this way and a flange this way. But I'm going to weld this on first. Allow me to demonstrate the plan. If you look right here, this oval is not perfectly round because the sketch geometry comes from a JPEG that was scanned and vectorized. So it's not a geometrically perfect oval, so there's some imperfections. The cool part is because I used the original drawing to create this piece, the imperfections should match, and it basically tells me where it needs to go. Obviously, I'll make a center mark and I'll use these holes to project the geometry down. But you can already tell there's a big gap there, and then you go around and boom, it sort of fits right in place, and that looks pretty right. So that's where it's gotta go. So we're gonna clean this up. We're gonna prep our edge. We're gonna clamp this down. We're gonna do a little bit of preheat, and then we're gonna use some 308 stainless filler rod and the TIG welder, and we're going to weld this up. All right, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Might as well use the east wood here. Now we got to bevel our edges. I'm gonna grab a grinder. Nice big bevel. So we'll fill that with weld. And then so this will hold it in this direction, and then I'll put a gusset here and a gusset on the other side to hold it in this direction. So we're gonna reinforce the crap out of this before we weld it to this. You know, it'll be half height like that. Time to weld. No pressure, but this weld is gonna hold the entire sign up. Steve Martin from the welding school was nice enough to bring me a box of 308, 3/32 welding wire. I have some, but now I have a whole box. Pretty awesome. Just the good stuff. So I'm gonna use my Everlast 210 EXT, crank it up to 11, do a pass. Here we go. Stuff is welding good. So we got some tacks on there. Feeling good, looking good. And what I'm gonna do, instead of welding that entire side and flipping it, I'm gonna file that smooth. I'm gonna flip it now and weld the other side to keep the heat balanced. Someone's in trouble out there. Not me. I'm in here working. Looking good on that side. Got a full bead down, looking pretty happy. So we'll let that dry while it's dry. We'll let it cool while it's clamped. We'll flip it back over and do the same thing. And then I got a plasma cut out a little hook for the top so this thing can be set. It's Walker. I drew up a quick little horseshoe shaped part in the computer, and we're gonna cut it out of the same 1/4 inch stainless to give ourselves a nice top lifting point. All that time spent dialing in settings for 1/4 inch stainless really paid off. I have like no dross, and cut quality is really nice. So this will be welded to the top of the sign and give us a nice lifting point. Should be strong enough, and once they hang the sign, they can cut it off. It's hot! I burned myself. Owie, 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 owie. Sanders make things hot. Yep, that's a good burn. Amazing how grinders make metal really hot. That's gonna hurt. All right, well, that ought to help lift the sign up. Stuff welds nice, man, I'll tell you what. So now I'm gonna grab that gantry over there, pick this up, and then we'll position our deal underneath it, and we'll measure and think about some gussets to weld the opposite direction. You'll see, you'll see. Let's get in the air, we'll get the plate underneath it, and we'll see what needs to be cut. All right, so now you can see what type of gussets. So I want to make a gusset that goes this way and same on the other side. That way there's 4 points of contact on this bottom ring. I think it'll be nice and sturdy now. Just this little bit of weld supported this big piece, no problem. So a bunch of weld down there is going to be perfect. I think this thing's going to be very wind resistant. It's heavy. I don't want this thing to fall off the pole. So we're gonna weld the crap out of this thing. We're gonna preheat this donut because it's so thick. Get that hot with a torch, and then go to town with the TIG over there, cranked up to 11. But I'm gonna measure and cut some gussets. These guys are great for finding the center of a circle. Now we've got 4 equal lines on a disc, so main sign there, gussets here. Easy peasy. Okay, back to the cutter to cut out some gussets. Let's do that over there. Late in the day, but I'll do a mock-up here to show you what the final idea is. So we position this guy right here, and this guy is going to go like that. And I believe that's going to give us the strength we need. I like how that looks. I think that's going to turn out real nice. No sharp edges, cut just the right size. Lots of weld opportunity right there. So chance to show the guys down at the welding school what I'm capable of, but also physically able to get a lot of strong weld in there. Make sure the sign's not gonna fall apart. And then we have plenty of space around here for our bolts. So that's gonna work out good. So either right now or tomorrow, I'm going to bolt my squares back to the table and then clamp this to the squares so we know we're straight this way. We'll get a reading this way, make sure everything is square and plumb. And then we'll position this for the final time and tack everything together. So I snugged the bolts that hold them to the table, and then I went around to this side and used my clamps in the cubes, clamped to the sign, and then once those were tightened, I knew that my two blocks were in line this way. So then I went under the table and snugged up those bolts. So now, with any luck, I should be pretty level. You got a weird angle, but pretty dang close. So we'll fine tune that, get it sitting right, but that will allow me to weld that bottom piece in with some degree of confidence. And then we can mock up these layers on that guy. Very excited. Time for more sign stuff. So now we're gonna preheat this big thick disc, because anytime you're welding thin stuff to thick stuff, you wanna preheat the thicker stuff so that everything happens at the right time and that you don't get any cracking, because this whole, I mean, it's cold in my shop anyway, but this whole donut here is gonna act like a giant heat sink, which means this is gonna be way colder. This will heat up faster than this will. So that temperature difference can sometimes crack the weld. So we want to heat this bottom donut up, this up a little bit, but more this. That way the delta T, or the change in temperature, isn't so drastic and it doesn't happen so fast. So I'm going to use a oxy torch, heat this up. You know, we're looking for 300 degrees or so. We just want it to be warmer. And then we'll weld everything together. But I think that structure is gonna be nice and strong for this giant sign. So, love it. I can't believe I forgot to hit record on literally both of those welding sessions. Oh my God, what a disaster. Well, sorry for not filming that, but I doubt you could have seen much anyway. Got all this TIG welded, quite pleased with how it came out. Nice, colorful rainbows. Vertical welds are hard for me, but got everything done. And same on the other side. Got all this welded up, happy. Didn't hear any cracks or ticks or tings or anything, so I think we got it. Quite pleased with that. I think that's gonna hold this sign just fine. Pretty cool. I wanna work on the finish just a little bit more. One thing that bothers me about this Eastwood SCT tool, the sanding rings, discs, I'm gonna call them discs, but I know they're not, the cylinders. The sanding drums have a seam. Feels like that seam doesn't wear down at all. So you get these like ripples, these lines in the finish. The sandpaper is the only thing that's aggressive enough to cut through this stainless, but it leaves this ripple effect, which doesn't look bad, it just doesn't look good. And if I go real slow and kind of push, I can counter it a little bit, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the techniques with that thing. But anyway, all welded up, love it, happy with it. Going to make some standoffs out of some pipe. Plan is to use some of this metal pipe which fits a 3/8 bolt inside perfectly. So that will be the standoff cut to 1 inch, and then the 3/8 bolt will go through both outer layers, the 2 sections of pipe, 1 on each side, and the center layer, and bolt everything together. Let's work that out. Nice. I'm starting to get a sense of how much this thing moves once the base is held solid. And the answer is some. But we shall see. All right, now I can, here's the plan. Bolt, these spacers slide on like that, so it'll be layer, spacer, layer, nut.
Hi, it's Fitz with Slap My Nuts. We're gonna be in a great mood all day because it's gonna be slapping my nuts.
You follow?
Slap my nuts.
Hope this all works. That's awesome. The holes line up. Yay! Things look level. Yay! Fully assemble it now because I don't want to be drilling holes when it's powder coated. We'll go to the other side and do the other layer. This one's a little lighter. Cool, it'll all get lifted up. Sorry for the plumber's crack. Not really. Now that is quite the thing. So for any of those that didn't know what I was going for, the times I poorly explained it, there's the sandwich we've been building. Gosh, here it is in full scale, assembled. That thing looks awesome. Quite large. All my welds seem to be holding up nice. Spacing worked. Holes lined up. Yeah, the space in between the ovals is nice and uniform. It's not snugged up yet, so they would actually center themselves a little bit more. Welds are all holding and happy. Got my lift point for install. Kind of wish it was removable. I could have made it removable, I suppose. But it's on there now. Could always cut it off once it's installed because this piece isn't getting powder coated. It's just being shined up real nice and polished. So this is getting powder coated black. This is getting powder coated red. And that's that. I love when we do stacked signs like this and you see the shadows, you see the depth in these shapes. It always adds a really cool three-dimensional effect to the sign. Love it. Next, I will be coordinating with the powder coater, CNC fabricators down the road. And then, yeah, it is time to deliver this and get paid for it. I'm excited about that. But I'm really excited for the opportunity to do something like this, especially for a welding school of all places. Steve Martin has been super patient with me. Being a one-man band, you know, I can't crank things out super fast. But I have a pretty good attention to detail, I like to think. And I think his investment will have been worth it in the end. So getting a phone call. I'll see you later. Piece of metal in my mouth. Hi everyone, here's the sign. It's hanging from the ceiling. And Steve is super stoked with it. So today's the day I'm gonna bring it to the powder coater to get it powder coated. And that's the finish line. Once it's powder coated, we do final assembly and then I deliver it to them. They put it on top of a pole with a crane and then we all high five and go home. So this has been a long one. Mainly because I'm busy, not because it's been technically challenging, but definitely a cool project and great guys to work with. Let's load this thing up and get it over to CNC. Okay, so parts are dropped off. It's Thursday. They're gonna call me next week. I think they'll be able to get to it on Tuesday of next week. But whenever that happens, I'll bring you guys with. We'll pick it up, we'll bring it back to Lift Arc, we'll do the final installation, and then we'll call Steve and get to install. He's gotta rent a crane to put it up on the pole, so it'll be quite the accomplishment, I think. So it'll be fun to watch. I'll bring you guys with. Stay tuned. Got a call yesterday that the pieces are ready at the powder coaters. So I'm on my way there to pick them up. I'm really excited to get this sign put together and see what it all looks like. Got stainless hardware for it and everything, so it's gonna be nice. Here they are, looking spiffy. Black came out good. Look at that. Look at that thing. You can change the width of the forks. That's fancy. Doing great, John.
I'm nervous.
Say hi to your mom.
Hi, Mom. Well, it was great to meet you. Say hi to your mother for me, okay?
Got her all strapped down. Let's get back to Lift Arc and put this thing together. Super pumped.
Well, Tay's not here, but we just got these back, and ooh, doggy. They look good.
Okay, hi. Hello. Welcome back. It's final assembly time. It's Thursday. This thing's getting installed tomorrow. So let's put this thing together. Also, my lens is damaged thanks to probably a plasma cutter. So there's a dark spot right there. That's very annoying because I can't take the lens off this camera. Anywho, don't let it distract you. Let's put this thing together. Oh, that is so deeply satisfying.
Heavy. Dude, that pops.
It's in the hole. Just needs a little love tap. Little love tap.
It reminds me of that fucking, the guy at every golfing tournament that's in the crowd whenever the putt gets close. Get in the hole!
Yeah. Every golfing tournament.
Yeah.
In the hole!
So you are the get in the hole guy.
I am the get in the hole guy, yes.
My first question, I guess, is why do you do what you do?
I think when I first started, I'll be honest, I didn't have much of a plan. I just thought, this is my favorite golfer, and I want him to sink this putt, so I just yelled what I wanted the ball to do.
Get in the hole.
Get in the hole. Yes, sir.
Look at it. Would you just look at it? Ooh-wee. Wow. Wouldn't this be like a horrible time to realize I spelled something wrong?
Pumbers.
Well, so the saving grace is that I vectorized their logo.
Yeah, I was about to say, they sent you this, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it'd be their fault.
But also mine. It's been how many months and I didn't catch it?
But, nah, it looks good.
Okay, fully assembled. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We're here. I'm early, but I like it that way. Get set up and see what happens. We're gonna lift it into place and weld it onto the pole. It's gonna be exciting. There's a man of the hour.
Don't film me with that thing.
Yeah. There you go. It's hung. It's just tacked in place right now. Steve Martin is going to get here and give it the final okay before they fully weld it on. But this is a welding school, so the cool part is the guys were involved in the installation and the hanging and the rigging. It's sort of a practical exercise for them, you know. We use pipe flanges to attach the sign. So anyway, big shout out to Steve Martin and the local welding union here, Local 10, Richmond and Roanoke, Plumbers and Steam Fitters Apprenticeship School. It's a hell of an outfit, and it's an option for guys that, you know, aren't necessarily suited for college like yours truly. Go be a welder. It pays pretty well. It's hard work, but it pays well. So support your local welding schools. They support me.